Welcome to the summer of 2020 on Alaska's Kenai Peninsula. In this video, we are beach camping at the mouth of the Kenai River to participate in a unique style of fishing reserved only for Alaskans. And things pretty much went downhill from there.
I think we're stuck.
We're not stuck.
Oh, okay.
Oh, we're almost stuck. One fish. $90 and we got one fish already. Well, if that's not an omen.
Oh my God! Oh.
We are Ben and Rebecca of Outliers, Overland, a couple of outside-the-box thinkers who ironically travel inside a box.
Meet Denny, our trusted four-wheel drive expedition vehicle, and he enjoys taking the road less traveled as much as we do.
Join us as we search for off-the-beaten-path destinations and a life less ordinary.
Thank you.
Look out there!
Have a good one.
Ooh. This is what happens when you have a tall vehicle. You have to get out to do a lot of these things.
Mm-hmm.
Hub's locked, four-wheel drive engaged. Tires are hard though, but we are about to share one of the more unique camping, fishing, Alaska experiences that you will see. And my goodness, I don't know if I want to enter that with hard tires.
Let's see what other people have. They really don't look aired down,
No, they don't.
but they're not nearly as heavy as our rig.
Okay, we're just gonna go for it. We saw another vehicle. Okay.
Glad you're driving and not me. I hate
Yeah.
driving in sand.
I know you do. Wow. Yeah. Aired down, this would not be an issue, but it takes a little more concentration with hard tires.
We're trying to find things in Alaska that we've never done while we're home this year. So this is something new for us. We've never dipnetted on this side of the Kenai or camped out here beside the river. There are a lot of people here. I can see them, so should be interesting.
This is making me work for it here. Pick the right line.
Hold the steering wheel.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna try to get down towards the water. And there's these grooves.
Oh,
All
God.
right. Okay. All right.
I'm using my seatbelt
Oh.
today.
Here we go.
Oh, this is better.
Not much, though.
No, really, actually not. Kind of worse.
Roger that.
But this is how Alaskans play. Lots of toys. Toys for the summer, toys for the winter. I'm just looking at all the people right now.
Yeah.
Glad we don't have to use those bathrooms. Always best to bring your own toilet.
Look for a spot where we can back in.
Okay. I think we're stuck.
We're not stuck.
Oh,
Oh, we're almost stuck. But we're level.
okay. Oh, good. That's important.
Yeah. We're here.
Let's see. Are we really level?
We are seriously level. We got stuck level. I think I'm gonna have to air down to get out of here.
I really think you rocking back and forth in the grooves got us
Yeah,
level. Like,
it worked.
Us into a level spot.
Okay, I'm gonna let the engine cool down after that run.
Yeah, probably should.
Okay, we got camp set up. This was rather interesting coming here because dip netting requires a lot of gear that we normally do not carry with us in this small box. Front tires dug in a little. There's the dip net, which I reassembled because it would not fit in the camper. The rear tires dug in, all air down before we hit the road, or maybe just sitting and cooling down will be enough. And then over here, an ice chest. These Atlas type of gloves are great when working with fish. We got 3 blocks of ice. This is waders and other outdoorsy type of stuff. When it comes to combative fishing like this, I'm an opportunist. I watch the water and I wait to go out. I'm not gonna beat the water for hours upon hours for like 6 fish. When if you're like a hyena, for example, you can wait for the fish to be actively running and make the most of your time. But now we are just gonna sit, chill out, and observe. Alright guys, there's not much going on in the way of catching out there, so we're going to call it a night. We're going to hit it in the morning, and we'll see you then. Well, good morning. It is a beautiful day. Seriously, I'm not just saying that. It is that nice of a day here on the Kenai Peninsula. We're here at camp. It's morning. There's not a lot of fish being caught here today. It's rather disappointing. There's about 50 nets in the water just in our little field of view, and maybe 1 fish on the beach. There's not a lot of fish here. And that's the thing you got to realize about salmon fishing. They're either there or they are not there. And not to sound, all right, this is totally going to sound bad, but like stuck up Alaskans, but I'm here for our 35 fish that were allowed, not 3 or 5 fish. I don't know, just saying, we want to get a good batch that is worthy of processing, smoking, pressure canning, and really do it up right. 3 fish? I don't know. But that's just the Alaskan in us. Well, we're here to go fishing, and it's time for us to do so. Before we get started, let me tell you a little bit about this technique called dip netting. Firstly, it's only for Alaskans. Programs like these help residents live a subsistence life. The idea is to catch a lot of fish in one fell swoop and feed your family for the winter. Just how many fish are you allowed to catch? Well, the first person in a household is allowed 25 fish, and each additional member adds 10 fish. So Rebecca and I are allowed to harvest 35 fish from this region. There are other dip netting opportunities around the state, and we reserve the rights to fish those as well, but this one is relatively close to home. What are we targeting? We're targeting sockeye salmon, also known as reds. There's pinks in the river, but we don't want any of those. These fish are returning to the Kenai River from a life at sea to spawn in the same waters they were born in. Essentially, when the fish are running, there are so many in the river, you can simply hold a net in the water and salmon will swim right into it. It's rather mind-blowing when you think about it. Salmon have a tough life. If they have made it to this point, they are already survivors. And now they have to get past our nets. Then the sport fishing anglers are awaiting upriver, and then if these fish are lucky enough to reach the spawning grounds, they get to make love once and die. Very surreal.
I got you, I got you.
I got you, Samuel.
You're gonna be okay.
You're gonna make it, Samuel. You know, this thing got muddy before I could get a good look at it.
Yeah, remember, you can't forget to cut the tail.
Thank you. We're calling it. This is an absolute joke. There's no fish here. That's just plain and simple. One fish. $90 and we got one fish already.
One lonely salmon. And 2 steaks for dinner. Well, dinner was good, and I'm ducked out of the wind here. A few people in the water fishing, but not a lot of catching. The guy on this side of us has one. I think they have, between the two of them, they have like 3 or 4. And they've been working it hard, really working it. I'm not going to say anything too committing to this, but yesterday at this time, the commercial fishing fleet was coming in. And they have the rights to catch fish. It's a time-honored trade that they have the ultimate respect for. But they can really scoop up a lot of fish. And that being said, there's going to be a lag time between their openings and when their openings would affect what happens here at the river mouth. I hope you grasp that. So tomorrow is going to be our salvation. Got one fish that is seriously pathetic in Alaskan terms. All right, so I'm gonna sign off for the night, but since we didn't catch squat today, I'm gonna share a little info about another dip net fishery in Alaska. Located 400 miles northeast of where we're at now lies the town of Chitina, Alaska, and a region rich in culture and history. This unique fishery is about 70 miles up the Copper River, which makes it a completely different experience. With the help of an ATV, there are plenty of opportunities to fish from shore. But one of the more exciting ways is having a water taxi drop you off on a private rock or beach. Salmon from the Copper River have a reputation for being the best tasting fish on the planet, and we have actually found this to be true. They say the reason is because the Copper River runs very cold and very fast, meaning the fish are stronger and have to have more in reserves to migrate upriver. What we primarily notice are the fish here are slimy, and that slime isn't a bad thing. It's actually healthy fish oils and what makes them taste so special. Now, if you're wondering why are we not here now? Well, it's because the run on the Copper River has been relatively weak so far this year, and biologists have limited the days when dip netting is allowed. Those days did not quite mesh up with our schedule, but if this fishing trip is a flop, we might have to reprioritize things. Whew. Well, if that's not an omen, there's a big tsunami warning, an earthquake, and I aired down the tires. Okay, this should be good here. Okay, we take these tsunami warnings very seriously in Alaska. Obvious reasons. 1964.
Oh my god! Oh!
Are you okay?
Oh!
Sorry.
Jesus Christ! Oh!
bumps through here, babe. Big bumps. And I have to maintain some speed. Keep these tires spinning. Okay. It's safe to punch it. Okay, get out of the sand pit. Okay. Off the beach. Man. Ugh. Exit only?
Yeah, the right side.
I'm not getting trapped.
It's an automatic gate. It says pull forward to activate.
I just didn't want to box myself into a corner. Alright. 4-wheel drive off. I'll unlock the hubs and air up the tires. Okay.
We're safely off the beach, looking for a place to air the tires back up. About 5 seconds after we got off the beach, got a message that they'd cleared the upper Cook Inlet area as well as Seward for the tsunami warning. It's just Ketchmak Bay and around Kodiak. But that information came a little late. Just not something you want to mess with when you're camped right on the beach. And
with hard tires.
Takes a little bit to get out of there. So I guess better to be safe than sorry. We have all of our dip knitting stuff in the cabin of the Fuso now. It was interesting to watch people down on the beach here as well, because people hightailed it out of there. Cops showed up. Anyway, we're gonna go home, maybe try to salvage a little sleep. The fishing sucked anyway, unfortunately. I mean, this is real life. Oh boy. Yep, we have a mess.
Well, it's time to address one lonely pink salmon beck.
What we thought was one salmon from our dip netting trip turns out to be a big fat 0. When we caught it, Ben said I didn't get a good look to see if there are spots on the tail. And so then when I took it up to the cooler, I looked, but I guess I looked in the wrong spot for the spots on the tail. So anyway, the dogs will have some yummy treats and life goes on. I guess now we don't have to figure out what to do with one measly little salmon. It's been just a crazy trip between the tsunami thing and I've never seen the fish run like that when we've gone dip netting before. So such is life. It's 2020. What more can I say?
So here are the spots on the tail that a pink salmon has. And this is also a pink because they have very small scales. And a sea-run pink salmon, it's not a bad meal. This would be acceptable by most standards at Red Lobster or, you know, something you would find in the grocery store in the lower 48. But
okay, but just be honest, we're snobby Alaskan salmon eaters.
Exactly. And I emphasize a sea-run pink salmon. Once they enter the rivers or get a lick of fresh water, they go downhill really quick. And
you can also see from the meat, it's a lot lighter than like a red.
I know there's some people at home going like, God, what are these people talking about?
You're going to feed that to
the dogs. But unless you live up here and know the culture and the 5 species of Pacific salmon, you don't know that, oh my goodness, this is right at the bottom of the food chain for Alaskans next to chum salmon.
Which is dog food too, by the way.
Yeah, that's what they feed a lot of sled teams. Remember I was telling you how this fish looked like a hen? Mm-hmm. You see the eggs?
It is, it's a hen. You're right.
And males or bucks, they have a completely different look, the type of their face. But yeah, there's eggs. These are great eggs if I wanted to invest the time into curing them, but not right now. Let's clean these up a little. We want our dogs to eat well.
You're gonna make everybody want you to clean their salmon because you do such a nice professional job.
I suppose that comes with cleaning plenty of these. Oh,
You cleaned one or two, right?
I missed one of the rib bones.
You ruined it.
But that's not bad.
Back now.
The dogs will love it. We sound horrible. This is like, oh, we're feed this to the dogs. But you gotta understand by being up here. All right. Hey, you want some salmon? Oh, this is good. You're actually a lower 48 dog, so you wouldn't know the difference, but this is good for you. Well, and now we have to clean up. Block ice is so much better than cubes for this. This has been a nice mat for the camper.
I love this thing.
It
was
folds
such
up
an
really
awesome
small.
find.
And keep it in good shape.
Yep.
If you take care of your fishing gear and rinse that salt water off, it lasts so much longer. Lots of sand in there. Aside from going to the car wash and rinsing off the undercarriage of the truck, these nets are the last little bit of cleanup that we have. Well, now seems like a good time to recap exactly how the events of last night went down, because we're obviously not going to record everything and be stupid if there is actually a tsunami event coming. Yeah. Let's just say that. But we are no strangers to these earthquake and tsunami warnings, given the fact that our house and the places that we recreate are literally on the Pacific Ring of Fire.
Well, our house actually survived the 64 quake and tsunami in Alaska.
Well, it didn't. The tsunami didn't hit here, and we're at 55 feet of elevation. So we got the messages on our phone. We assessed the situation for maybe 10, 15 minutes and thought over, like, you know what? Let's heed the warning and get out.
We at least need to be able to leave.
Yeah,
if we want to.
exactly. Which included having to air down the tires, because in an event like that, you don't want to be stupid and get stuck when you have four-wheel drive, and it could have all been avoided. So, yeah.
And then the cops showed up.
While we were getting ready.
They said that we didn't have to leave. They weren't evacuating, but they were notifying people of the situation and that people should do what they felt was right.
That young guy, the young officer, he was rather scared too. He was like, what did he say?
It was so funny. I didn't capture it on film, but he said, I don't know how long it will take for it to get here. I got the same warning you got on your phone, and I'm just as freaked out as you are.
It's like he drew the short straw to come down to the beach to talk to the campers.
He was like, I don't really want to be here, and I'm just here to tell you quickly and let me leave.
All right, so we are regrouping for there's many more adventures. But the next adventure is a special one for Alaska. We are driving our rig 61 miles into Denali National Park. This whole COVID situation has decreased tourism, and they've opened up these passes so you can drive your own vehicle in during the summer months, which are normally it's prohibited, but there's the fall road lottery. This is a little different, but either way, it is an awesome opportunity.
And this is your first time ever to Denali.
Because I'm such an advocate of visiting national parks, but under this circumstance, a do-it-yourself drive into the park adventure, sign me up.
Well, this is an exceptional thing to get to do. I have a friend who's 65, and she remembers getting to drive into the park as a little girl with her parents. She said it's been ages since they've let this happen, so it's eventful.
Yeah, just making the most of things.
Yeah.
You know, this is an opportunity that didn't exist under normal years, but we want to make sure to tell you about it because we're pretty excited about the footage. We're rambling. This video overall sucked. Fishing sucked. Yeah, camping was nice, but man. And what's the irony? This is Wednesday at 1 p.m. Is it Wednesday at 1?
It's Wednesday at 1.
Okay.
This
so-
is what you hear when the tsunamis go.
Well, this is
Warnings
the warning.
go.
Wait for it. Attention. This is a test of emergency system. Okay. Well, where was I?
We were rambling.
Well, yeah, but I was rambling to wrap it up.
The fishing sucked.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, this video sucked. Thanks for watching. Bye.